The essence of good marketing is storytelling. Let's talk about it.
Welcome to Newsletter Guru TV, your show with a boatload of smart marketing and business building advice, and a little fun along the way.
This episode of Newsletter Guru TV is brought to you by No Hassle Social Media, the fastest and easiest way to master social media marketing so you can build profitable client relationships.
Hey everybody, it's Jim Palmer, the Newsletter Guru. A couple of weeks ago I was speaking to Lee Milteer's Peak Performers group of entrepreneurs down in Washington, D.C. It was actually a 3.5-hour seminar, so I had a lot of things to talk about regarding newsletters, marketing, client retention, and things like that. But one of the exercises that I did was it worked out very well, and it was all about the importance of storytelling in your marketing. Now, the way I related this is in newsletter marketing, one of the most effective things you can do to get your monthly customer newsletter to actually sell more for your business is to tell your monthly success story. So this is the lead article that goes on page 1. And your success story talks about how your company has helped another company, another client, with one of your products or services. So it introduces all your customers to what I call what else. So it's introducing them to something else that you do. But you don't just want to have like featured product or let us tell you about this. That's really boring, and it also just kind of reeks of what I call, salesy marketing type message, and that's a big turnoff. But in a newsletter, people will want to read stories. Now, here's a couple things. You need a big, captivating headline, a good picture to go with that, and then you need a story which evokes curiosity. You want it to evoke what I call the factor. In other words, when people are reading your story, they might be saying to themselves, I didn't know they did that. I wonder what that would look like in my business. That's a good story when people are doing that. So I want to give you an example. I actually gave a writing exercise to Lee's group. Had them come up with a story based on how their business interacts with other clients. So the other clients that are reading the newsletter are getting an idea of what else they do and how they can be helped. So one of the strategies is to tell a story that not only shares what you do and how you've helped another client, but it also, I don't want to say in a sneaky way, but actually as you're telling this story, you're actually sharing more about your company. What I thought I'd do is I'm going to bang out a quick little article here, a success story, and I'm going to write it as it's going to go in my newsletter. So me being a coach and a mentor to other entrepreneurs and small business owners, they look to me for articles and strategies and tips on how to market and grow their business. So my target audience is entrepreneurs and small business owners. So here's the article I'm going to write. I'm going to tell you about it, and then I'm going to I'm going to actually pretend I'm going to write it because I don't want to, that'll probably make a lot of noise. But anyway, so the strategy, the story that I'm going to tell in my newsletter as a coach is going to be called LLP, Listen, Learn, and Profit. Use how you can use this strategy in your business to create multiple streams of revenue and significantly boost your profit. All right, so let's go. Okay, I opened Word and I'm getting ready to get started. I'm going to talk out this article real fast because if you waited for me to type it, it's going to be painfully slow. Okay, headline, LLP, Listen, Learn, and Profit, how you can use this strategy to create multiple streams of revenue in your business and supercharge your profits. That's the headline. I got a great picture going next to that. Maybe it's like a gold dollar sign or something like that. And so now I'm going to write the article. But here's how the article is going to go. One of the ways to create multiple streams of revenue in your business is to actually listen to what your customers, your clients, and your patients are saying, what they're asking for. They're going to reveal to you some of the pains, some of the things they like about your program, some of the other ways that they have needs in their business and things like that. So when you engage in conversations, and this is, again, kind of a sidebar, this is why it's so important to go out to live events and interact with your customers. So one of the things that I did in my business using LLP, and this is how I added multiple streams of revenue. So here's how I use LLP in my business. So my very first business was called Dynamic Communication. I was writing and designing newsletters for companies, associations, nonprofits, chambers, and things like that. As I was meeting with my clients one-on-one, I kept hearing them say over and over again, Jim, one of the reasons you're here is we never know what to put in our newsletter and how to generate all that content. So what I did, I started my second business, which was No Hassle Newsletters, and I started out initially providing 12 pages of content every month, articles on different subjects and topics that people could just take and put into their newsletter to help fill it up, and it would be interesting. And I started getting members. Then I started having some of my new members ask me for an easy way to design newsletter templates, like I was always talking about in my newsletter and on my websites, and then in my first book, The Magic of Newsletter Marketing. So what I did is I created these templates, these done-for-you templates. I created a 2-page and a 4-page black and white template and added that to my program. So I added more value to No Hassle Newsletters, got more subscribers, actually raised the price. Then I had a couple clients say, hey, I think I had a dentist who's doing teeth whitening, and I think I had a florist say, Jim, we love it, but can we get these in color, because that would really help sell our business. And so then I added a 2-page and a 4-page color newsletter, got more subscribers, up the price. Then I was exhibiting, I think it was a Glazer Kennedy Info Summit in St. Louis. I think this was in 2009. And a couple clients came up and said, you know, we really struggle with our local printer. He uses the wrong paper. He trifolds it instead of bifolds it like you suggest, Jim. And they always struggle with my mailing list. And I'm hearing and I'm thinking, I got to help this guy. But I'm also thinking with this year, there's opportunity. And so less than 60 days later, I launched my Concierge Print and Mail on Demand program. And now I do printing and mailing for many of my customers. I'm doing like 40,000 newsletters a month, which is pretty cool. Then I had customers keep coming back to me, Jim, we totally get the print and mail, paper and ink newsletter, but we like to do e-zines as well. So guess what I did next? I added an e-zine template to the program. I kept adding more value, kept raising the price, and on it goes. So my program, which started initially as content, has added all these different value addeds. The price goes up. I got more and more subscribers. I think we deal with a couple hundred subscribers in 9 different countries right now, which is awesome cool. But you know, it all came from this strategy of listen, learn, and apply. I listened to what my customers were saying. I listened to what their pain points were. And then I added a program and generated more profit. So what I want you to do is think about how you can use LLP in your business. And by the way, and folks, sidebar, here we are at the end of the article. So by the way, if you have any questions on LLP and how you can use it in your business, hey, send me an email at guru@thenewsletterguru.com or call my office 610-458-2047 or go to my website www.getjimpalmer.com. That's the end of the article. Now, let's dissect the article I just wrote, which is a great page 1 story in one of my newsletters. I taught a strategy. This strategy that I actually taught entrepreneurs and small business owners is called LLP, how they can use it in their business. It hopefully got a few wheels turning, so they're going, you know what, our clients are asking for this. Or sometimes they say this, instead of just recommending them or referring them somewhere or helping them solve it, we ought to create a program and have them pay us more money for it. So that's what I hope the article will do. But look kind of behind the curtain. They were engaged in a story. They saw how I implemented it in my business. And as they read this story, got familiar with the LLP strategy, what happened? They learned all about my business and all about the different programs and strategies that I offer. Is that cool or what? So that's how the power of storytelling can work in your newsletter in just about all of your marketing. Okay, that is our lesson for today, and if I do say so myself, it's a darn powerful one. So what I want you to do before the day's out, look for ways that you can add more value to what it is that you're doing for your customers, clients, and patients. When you add more value, wrap it up with world-class service, your customers, clients, and patients are going to stay longer, and when they stay longer, they're going to spend more and refer more, and that's always a good thing. And before the day's out, go do something nice for somebody. If we can just be a little bit nicer to each other, I think the world's going to be a much better place. And again, if you've enjoyed what I've shared with you today, if you've got some benefit out of it, you've learned something that you can apply in your business, and I really think you did. If not, go back and watch it again. Then I'd appreciate it very much if you would help spread the word about Newsletter Guru TV. just click the share button. Somewhere down here, click the share button, and that will allow you to post it to Twitter or Facebook or Google Plus, wherever. You can put a copy of this on your blog. That's perfectly okay with me. Do leave a comment. I always love hearing and reading about your comments about the video. It really gives me some ideas, keeps me inspired to keep doing this week after week. We have thousands and thousands of entrepreneurs and small business owners that watch Newsletter Guru TV. So sometimes if it's the end of the week, I haven't shot the video for the next week, and I'm thinking, oh, I don't want to do it, or maybe I won't. I always think of those thousands of people that tune in every week to watch the video. So it's kind of it's very inspirational. So I love the feedback. All right. Until next week, my name is Jim Palmer, and I'm committed to helping you build a more profitable business faster. If you haven't yet, check out Stick Like Glue Radio. That is my weekly podcast. You can get it on iTunes. You can listen to a replay and download the MP3 at www.getjimpalmer.com. It's a weekly radio show. It's about 30 minutes long, really putting out some great information and interviews with leading expert authorities. All right, until next episode. This is Jim Palmer, the Newsletter Guru, and I will see you next week. Take care, everybody.